The call came at 3:27 a.m. Singapore time. I was still at my desk reviewing quarterly reports when Luna's name lit up my phone screen. My sister never calls. Not anymore. Not since I left. "They're going to throw me out," she sobbed. "Mum and Dad, they're changing the locks tomorrow. My name is Zlata, and I haven't been home in 4 years. I built a life here, 9,000 miles away from the toxicity I grew up in, climbing the corporate ladder at one of Singapore's top financial firms. But hearing Luna's voice, broken, desperate, made the careful walls I'd built crumble in seconds. "Slow down," I said, minimizing spreadsheets on my monitor. "What happened?" "I left Marcus." Her voice cracked. "The abuse got worse, and I had nowhere else to go. Came home 3 days ago. But Mum and Dad, they're saying I'm not welcome here. That I'm weak for running away. That I deserved what happened." My fingers froze over the keyboard. "They said what?" "Dad screamed that I'm a disappointment. Mum told me to go back to Marcus and fix things like an adult. Please, I don't know what to do. Willow offered her couch, but—" "The house," I cut in, a memory suddenly crystallizing. "They put it in my name 5 years ago. For tax purposes." I was already pulling up my personal drive, scanning for the folder marked Family Documents. "What?" "The deed. They transferred ownership to me." I found the PDF and opened it. There it was, my signature, dated June 15th, 2018. "They can't throw you out. Legally, it's my house." The line went quiet. I could hear Luna's breathing, still hitched from crying. "I'm booking a flight," I said, opening a new tab. "Don't tell them I'm coming. Don't tell them about the deed. Just hold on." "Zlata, you don't have to—" "Yes, I do." My voice was steel. "I've stood by too long, watching them hurt you. Not anymore." After hanging up, I sat in my ergonomic office chair, staring at the Singapore skyline through floor-to-ceiling windows. The deed was still open on my screen, mocking me with its implications. They'd played me, convinced their successful daughter to sign without reading the fine print. "Just a formality," Dad had said. "Makes things easier with the bank," Mum had added with that plastic smile. I pulled up my email and typed a quick message to my supervisor. "Family emergency. Need 2 weeks leave. We'll send details in morning." Then I booked the first available flight to Boston. My phone buzzed. A text from Luna. "Mom's in one of her moods. Says she's calling a real estate agent tomorrow. Someone named Gregory." I laughed. Actually laughed. They wanted to sell my house? The irony was delicious. Opening my laptop again, I downloaded every document related to the property. Deed, tax records, utility bills, everything. Then I called Ali, my friend from university who specialized in residential law. "It's late," she answered, groggy. "How quickly can you draft an eviction notice?" "Zlata, what's going on?" I explained the situation, watching dawn break over the Singapore skyline as I talked. Ali was silent for a moment after I finished. "You know," she said slowly, "this could get ugly. Family court always does." They made it ugly the moment they threatened Luna. I stood up, gathering my things. "I need those papers ready when I land, whatever it costs." "Okay, send me the deed. I'll start the paperwork." She paused. "And Zlata, be careful. People get desperate when they're cornered." I ended the call and looked at my reflection in the window. The woman staring back wasn't the same person who'd fled here 4 years ago, desperate to escape their suffocating control. She was stronger now, harder. My phone buzzed again. Another text from Luna. "They're talking about changing the locks first thing tomorrow. Dad's already called the locksmith." I opened my banking app and transferred enough money to cover an extended hotel stay. Then I texted back, "Don't worry about the locks. They can change them all they want, but they forgot one very important detail. Whose signature is on the deed?" Closing my laptop, I whispered to the empty office. "They want to play landlord? Fine, let's play." I grabbed my go bag from under my desk, the one I'd always kept packed, just in case. Old habits die hard when you grow up never feeling safe, but this time I wasn't running away. I was running toward something, toward justice, toward the reckoning they never saw coming, and God help anyone who tried to stop me. The taxi dropped me off at the end of our Maple Line driveway exactly 36 hours after Luna's call. The colonial-style house loomed ahead, pristine white with black shutters, a perfect facade hiding years of emotional wreckage. Mum opened the door before I could knock. "Zlata!" Her voice dripped honey, but her eyes were sharp as razors. "What a surprise! Why didn't you tell us you were coming?" "Thought I'd surprise you." I matched her fake smile with one of my own. "Can't a daughter visit her family?" She hugged me stiffly, her expensive perfume choking me. Over her shoulder, I saw Luna frozen at the top of the stairs, eyes wide with disbelief. "Carson!" Mum called out. "Look who's here!" Dad emerged from his study, reading glasses perched on his nose. Well, the prodigal daughter returns? He didn't move to hug me? Bit of an inconvenient time, sweetheart. We're in the middle of some household changes. Oh? I set my bag down. What kind of changes? Nothing for you to worry about. Mum's smile tightened. Though since you're here, you should know we're thinking of selling. The market's excellent right now. Luna descended the stairs slowly, like a ghost. She looked thinner than I remembered, shadows under her eyes. "Hi, sis," I said softly. Mum cut in before Luna could respond. "Luna's just staying temporarily, until she sorts out her situation." She spat the last word like it was poison. "My situation." Luna's voice was barely a whisper. "You mean escaping my abusive ex?" "Don't be dramatic," Dad snapped. "Marcus is a good man who provided for you. If you just learn to be more accommodating..." Enough. The word left my mouth like a gunshot. Everyone stared. "I just flew 18 hours. Can we have lunch?" Mum's hostess instincts kicked in automatically. "Of course. I'll make sandwiches. Carson, help me in the kitchen." The moment they left, I crossed to Luna and hugged her tight. She stiffened, then melted into my arms. "I can't believe you came," she whispered. "Neither can they," I whispered back. "Just wait." Lunch was a masterclass in passive aggression. Mum had arranged everything perfectly. Her famous chicken salad sandwiches, fresh lemonade, cloth napkins folded into swans. "Gregory's coming tomorrow," she announced, cutting her sandwich into precise triangles. "Excellent realtor. Says we could list by next week." Fascinating. I sipped my lemonade. "And where's Luna supposed to go?" "That's not our concern," Dad said firmly. "She's 28. Time to stand on her own 2 feet." "Like Marcus stood on her ribs?" The words left my mouth before I could stop them. Luna flinched. "Now see here," Dad started. "No, you see here." I set down my glass. "Luna's staying. End of discussion." Mum's laugh was brittle. "Darling, you've been gone a long time. You don't get to waltz in and make decisions about our home." "Your home?" I raised an eyebrow. Interesting choice of words. The temperature in the room seemed to drop. Dad's face darkened. "What exactly are you implying?" "Nothing yet." I stood up. "Luna, want to help me unpack?" Upstairs in my old bedroom, Luna paced nervously. "They're going to explode. I've never seen Dad so angry." "Let them explode." I pulled out my laptop. "Remember when they asked me to sign some papers? About the house?" She nodded slowly. I opened the deed and turned the screen toward her. Her eyes widened as she read. "Holy shit," she breathed. "This is their biggest mistake," I smiled. "They have no idea whose house this really is." "But why would they..." A floorboard creaked outside my door. We both froze. After a moment, Mum's footsteps retreated down the hall. "They're watching us," Luna whispered. "Let them." I closed the laptop. "Tomorrow, when Gregory shows up, they'll learn exactly how much power they don't have." Luna hugged herself, a gesture I remembered from our childhood. "What if they hurt you? What if they..." "They can't." I gripped her shoulders. "Not anymore. We're not kids they can terrorize. We're not powerless." Tears filled her eyes. "I should have called you sooner. When Marcus first... when he... Hey." I pulled her close. "You called when you were ready. That's what matters." Downstairs, we heard Mom on the phone, her voice sharp and controlled. "Yes, Gregory. Tomorrow at 10. We want to move quickly? Yes, I understand the market. No, there won't be any complications." Luna and I looked at each other and actually smiled. For the first time in years, we were on the same side of a locked door, sharing a secret. Mum had no idea how wrong she was about complications. Tomorrow would change everything, and I couldn't wait. I woke early to call Ali, keeping my voice low as I paced the backyard. The morning dew soaked through my slippers. "I've drafted the eviction notice," she said. "But Zlata, there's something else. I did some digging into the property records. And? Your father's been using the house as collateral, multiple loans, all under your name." My stomach dropped. "What?" "The signatures look questionable. I'm sending you the documents now." I ended the call just as Luna emerged from the back door, 2 coffee mugs in hand. She handed me one, her hands shaking slightly. "I need to tell you something," she said, sitting on the old garden swing. "About why I really left Marcus." I sat beside her, the rusty chains creaking under our weight. "He wasn't just hitting me." Her voice trembled. "He was stealing from me, using my identity for loans. When I confronted him, She pulled up her sleeve, revealing a cigarette burn. "Mum and Dad said I was making it up for attention." "Jesus, Luna!" "But that's not all." She took a shaky breath. "When I told them I was leaving him, Dad got weird, started talking about family loyalty, about how Marcus knew things that could hurt us. Then Mum said..." She swallowed hard. "She said I deserved what I got for being weak, just like you deserved to be cut off for being selfish." My phone buzzed. Ali's documents had arrived. I opened them, and my coffee nearly slipped from my hand. "Luna, look at this." I showed her the loan documents. "Dad's been forging my signature, using the house for God knows what. That's the same thing Marcus did to me." Her eyes widened. "Zlata, what if they're connected? Marcus always bragged about his business contacts." The back door slammed open. Mum stood there, perfectly coiffed despite the early hour. "Breakfast is ready," she announced. "And Zlata, your father wants to speak with you, privately." In Dad's study, the morning sun cast long shadows across his mahogany desk. He didn't look up from his papers. "You need to leave," he said flatly. "Today." "Why? Afraid of what I might find?" His head snapped up. "What exactly are you implying?" I placed the loan documents on his desk. "Identity theft is a federal crime, Dad." The colour drained from his face. For a moment, I saw real fear in his eyes. Then his expression hardened. "You ungrateful little..." He stood abruptly. "Everything I did was for this family. Was forging my signature for this family, using my house as collateral for shady loans. Your house?" He laughed darkly. "You're nothing without us. Who paid for your education? Who gave you the connections to succeed?" "I paid back every penny," I said quietly. "With interest. You know that." A knock at the door interrupted us. Mum poked her head in. "Gregory's here early," she said, her smile strained. "Luna's being difficult about showing her room." "I'll handle Luna," Dad growled. "You deal with Gregory." I beat them both to the front door. Gregory, a silver-haired man in an expensive suit, extended his hand. "Ah, you must be..." "The owner," I cut in. "And this house isn't for sale." Mum's heel clicked sharply against the hardwood. "Zlata, don't be ridiculous. We discussed this." "No, you discussed it. But legally, this is my house." I turned to Gregory. "I suggest you leave before you waste any more time." Gregory looked between us, confusion turning to understanding. "Perhaps I should come back when the family has sorted things out." "There's nothing to sort," Mum snapped. "Carson, do something." But Dad stood frozen in the study doorway, watching his carefully constructed facade crumble. After Gregory left, Luna came downstairs. She'd been crying, but her chin was raised. "I found something," she said. "In the garage, an old VHS tape." Mum went very still. "Those were supposed to be destroyed." "Yeah, I bet they were." Luna's voice was steel. "It's from my 10th birthday. The one where you told me I was worthless because I cried when Dad threw out my art projects. Remember that, Mum?" "You're twisting things," Mum hissed. "You always do this, always play victim." "Enough." I stepped between them. "Luna, pack your things. We're getting a hotel." "You can't just..." Dad started. "I can, and I will." I met his gaze. "You have 30 days to vacate my property. After that, I'm filing the eviction notice." Mum's perfectly manicured hand flew to her throat. "You wouldn't dare." "Try me." I took Luna's arm. Oh, and Dad? Ali's firm is very interested in those forged loan documents. Expect a call. As we climbed the stairs, Mum's voice followed us, dripping with venom. You think you're so clever, don't you? I didn't respond. She'd learned soon enough just how clever I could be. Dad cornered me in the kitchen the next morning. I was pouring coffee when I heard his heavy footsteps behind me. We need to talk, he said, voice low and dangerous, about what you're doing to this family. I turned slowly, cup in hand. Interesting choice of words. Again, I've spoken to my lawyer. He stepped closer, using his height to loom over me, an old intimidation tactic. You think you can just waltz in here and destroy everything we've built? Everything you've built on fraud, you mean? His hand slammed down on the counter, making me jump. Coffee sloshed over my fingers. You ungrateful little bitch, he snarled. After everything we've done for you, done for me? I set the cup down before I threw it. Like forging my signature? Using my identity for your sketchy loans? I'll sue you, he threatened. I'll tell everyone how you abandoned your family, ran off to Asia to play big shot while your sister was being abused. Go ahead. I pulled out my phone. Say it again, but louder this time. I'm recording. His face went purple. Behind him, Luna appeared in the doorway, wide-eyed. You're bluffing, he said, but took a step back. Try me. I hit stop on the recording. By the way, Gregory's coming back today. Seems Mum convinced him this was all a misunderstanding. Right on cue, the doorbell rang. Mum's heels clicked rapidly across the foyer. Carson, she called out sweetly. Gregory's here? I brushed past Dad, coffee forgotten. In the foyer, Gregory stood awkwardly, while Mum chatted about market values and curb appeal. Mr. Gregory, I interrupted. I believe we met yesterday. I'm Zlata, the legal owner of this property. Mum's smile froze. Darling, we talked about this. No, you talked. Now I'm talking. I pulled out the deed on my phone. Would you like to see the documentation proving this house belongs to me? Or should we discuss the fraudulent loans taken out in my name? Gregory's professional demeanour cracked. Ma'am, I was assured this property was... They lied to you. I smiled apologetically. And I'm sorry you've been dragged into this, but this house is not for sale. Not now, not ever. Get out, Mum hissed at me. Get out of our house. Your house? Luna's voice rang from the stairs. Show him the loan papers, Zlata. Show him what Dad did. Gregory backed toward the door. I think perhaps I should... Wait, Mum grabbed his arm. She's lying. We have proof. The only proof you have is forged. I cut in. Want to add witness tampering to the fraud charges? Gregory yanked his arm free. I'll be removing this property from our listings immediately. Good day. The door closed behind him with a decisive click. The silence that followed was deafening. You've ruined everything, Mum whispered, her mask finally cracking. Everything we worked for, you ruined it yourselves. I pulled out the eviction notice. Here's your official notice. 30 days. Dad snatched the paper, ripping it in half. You think this changes anything? You think you can intimidate us? My phone buzzed. It was Ali. Actually, I said, reading her message, I do. The mortgage company's fraud department is very interested in those forged documents. They'll be contacting you shortly. Mum crumpled against the wall, her perfect posture finally breaking. You don't understand what you're doing. The people your father borrowed from, they're not the type you want asking questions. Then maybe you shouldn't have borrowed from them using my name. I turned to Luna. Pack whatever you need. We're checking into the hotel today. Please. Mum tried one last time, her voice breaking. We're your parents. You can't do this to us. Watch me? I started up the stairs, then paused. Oh, and Mum? Next time you want to manipulate someone, try harder. Your tears stopped working on me years ago. Luna followed me upstairs, her steps lighter than I'd seen since arriving. They're scared, she whispered as we packed. Really scared. I've never seen them like this. Good. I zipped my suitcase. They should be. Zlata? She hesitated. What Mum said about the people Dad borrowed from, should we be worried? I thought about Ali's message, about the mounting evidence of fraud, about the years of abuse and manipulation. No, I said firmly. They made their bed. Now they can lie in it. Downstairs, we could hear Mom crying. Real tears this time, and Dad's angry voice on the phone. Their perfect world was crumbling, and they had no one to blame but themselves. As we carried our bags to the door, Dad emerged from his study, phone still in hand. His face was ashen. "You have no idea what you've started," he said hoarsely. I met his gaze steadily. "No, Dad, I know exactly what I've started, and I'm finishing it." The hotel room felt safer than home ever had. Luna was asleep on one of the double beds when my laptop pinged with an email from Ali. "Call me, now." I stepped onto the balcony, shutting the door quietly behind me. Ali answered on the first ring. "Your father's been busy," she said without preamble. "I found 6 different loans, all using the house as collateral, all with your forged signature. But here's where it gets interesting. One of them traces back to a shell company owned by Gene Richardson." My blood ran cold. "The loan shark?" "The same. Your father borrowed $500,000 from him last year, using your name." A knock at the balcony door made me jump. Luna stood there, holding her phone. "Willow just texted," she said when I let her in. "She found something in the garage while getting my art supplies. We need to go back." At the house, Willow met us in the driveway. Mum's car was gone, but Dad's was still there. "It's in the back corner," Willow said, leading us to the garage. "Behind the old Christmas decorations." She pulled out a dusty box labelled Family Videos. Inside was a single VHS tape. "I watched just enough to know you need to see this," she said quietly. Back at the hotel, we found an electronics store that could convert the VHS to digital. The footage started playing on my laptop, and suddenly we were watching my 10th birthday party. Luna was 5, hiding behind me as Dad raged about spilled juice on his new carpet. "Worthless," Mum's voice came through clearly. "Both of you, completely worthless. Can't even act normal for one day?" The camera had been left running, forgotten in the chaos. It caught Mum slapping Luna, Dad throwing my birthday cake in the trash, both of them taking turns telling us how we'd never amount to anything. "Jesus," Willow whispered. Luna was shaking. "I'd forgotten how bad it was. How did I forget?" My phone buzzed. Ali again. "Your father's trying to transfer property rights. He forged your signature on another document yesterday." "Stop him." "Already done. But Zlata, he's desperate. People like Gene Richardson don't take kindly to missed payments." After hanging up, I made a decision. "We're going to the police." "No." Luna grabbed my arm. "What if they hurt us? What if they—" The hotel room phone rang, making us all jump. The front desk informed me that Sylvia, Mom, was in the lobby, insisting on seeing us. "Send her up," I said, against my better judgment. She arrived looking immaculate as always, but her hands were shaking. "You need to drop this," she said the moment I opened the door. "You have no idea what you're dealing with." "Like Gene Richardson." I watched her face pale. "Yeah, we know about him." "Then you know why you need to stop." She stepped closer, lowering her voice. "These aren't people you want as enemies." "Neither am I." I held up my phone, showing the converted video. "Remember this, Mum?" She flinched at the sound of her own voice calling us worthless. "That's not... I was under a lot of stress." "Save it." Luna stood up, stronger than I'd ever seen her. "We're done being your victims." Mum's mask cracked completely. "Fine. You want to play hardball?" She pulled out her phone. "I'm calling the police. I'll tell them you're threatening us, that you're trying to steal our home. Go ahead." I pressed play on the video again. "I'm sure they'd love to see this, and the loan documents, and the proof of identity theft." She actually dialed. 20 minutes later, 2 officers arrived. Mum put on her best performance, tears and all. "Officers," I interrupted. "I'm the legal owner of the property in question. Here's the deed. And here's evidence of financial fraud committed by my parents." The older officer reviewed the documents while his partner spoke with Mum. Finally, he turned to her. "Ma'am, these ownership documents are clear. If you continue to harass the legal property owner, you'll be facing charges." Mum's face contorted. "You don't understand. She's trying to destroy our family." "The family you destroyed years ago?" Luna held up the laptop, playing the video. This family? The officers watched a few moments, their expressions hardening. "Ma'am," the younger one said to Mum, "I suggest you leave. Now." After they escorted her out, Luna collapsed onto the bed. "She'll be back," she whispered. "They always come back. Let them." I sat beside her. "We have the truth now. All of it." My phone buzzed with a text from Ali. "Your father's been called in for questioning about the loans. It's starting." I showed Luna the message. For the first time since this began, she smiled. Really smiled. "They're not untouchable anymore," she said. "No," I agreed. "They never were. We just had to stop believing their lies." Outside, a storm was brewing. Somehow, it felt appropriate. The formal eviction notice landed on the kitchen table with a soft thud. 23 days had passed since I'd first arrived home, and Mum's perfectly curated mask finally shattered completely. "You can't do this to us." She grabbed the porcelain angel from the windowsill, her favourite decoration, and hurled it against the wall. It exploded into 1,000 glittering pieces. "The notice is legal," I said calmly. "You have 7 days left." Dad stood in the doorway, his face dark with rage. "I'll kill you before I let you take this house." "Really?" I held up my phone. "Want to threaten me again on record? I'm sure the police would be interested." Luna stepped forward, her voice steady. "Just leave. Please. Haven't you hurt us enough?" "Hurt you?" Mum laughed hysterically. "We gave you everything. And this is how you repay us? Everything?" Luna's hand trembled as she pulled out her phone, playing the birthday video. "You call this everything?" Mum lunged for the phone, but I stepped between them. "Touch her and I'll add assault to the charges." "Charges?" Dad's voice cracked. "You'd send your own father to jail? You sent yourself there when you forged my signature." I turned to Mum. "Did you know about Jean Richardson? About the loans?" She went very still. "I don't know what you're talking about." "Liar!" I pulled out a stack of papers. "Ali found everything. The shell companies, the fraudulent documents, even the offshore accounts. How long before Richardson comes looking for his money, Dad?" Dad's face went ashen. Before he could respond, there was a knock at the door. It was Willow. "Luna, your art supplies are packed. Do you want me to take them to the hotel now?" "No!" Mum grabbed Luna's arm. "You're not leaving. I forbid it." Luna yanked free. "I'm 28, Mum. You can't forbid anything." "Watch me." Mum pulled out her phone. "I'll call Marcus right now. Tell him where you are." The room went deadly quiet. "What did you say?" I stepped closer to Mum. "You'd call her abuser?" "He's a good man," Mum insisted. "Better than either of you ungrateful." I snatched her phone and threw it into the sink, turning on the garbage disposal. The crunch was satisfying. "You raised me to be a monster," I said quietly, "and now you're choking on your creation." Dad moved suddenly, his hand raised, but Luna was faster. She grabbed his wrist. "Touch her," she said, "and I'll press charges for every single time you hit me growing up. I have proof now, remember?" He jerked away like she'd burned him. Willow started loading Luna's art supplies into her car while we watched our parents unravel. "Where are we supposed to go?" Mum demanded. "This is our home." "Not anymore." I handed her a business card. "This is a real estate agent. She specializes in quick rentals. You have 7 days." Mum ripped the card in half. "I have a better plan." She marched upstairs, returning with a silver suitcase marked Plan B in her perfect handwriting. Inside were stacks of cash, fake passports, and documents I didn't recognize. "Your father isn't the only one with connections," she said, her voice cold. "You want to play games? Fine, let's play." "Mum," Luna whispered, "what did you do?" "What I had to do." She pulled out a folder. "You think Richardson is scary? Wait until you meet my friends." I picked up one of the passports. It had my photo, but a different name. Identity theft, fraud, and now this? I laughed without humour. "You're just making it easier for the prosecutors." "You wouldn't dare," she hissed. I pulled out my phone and dialed. "Ali, remember those documents we discussed? Add international fraud to the list. And call the FBI." Mum lunged for the suitcase, but I was ready. I grabbed it and stepped back. 7 days, I repeated. "Get out or I send everything to the authorities." You'll regret this, Dad said, his voice shaking. When karma comes for you— Karma? Luna interrupted. Karma is watching you lose everything because you couldn't stop being cruel. Karma is standing here, Dad, and she's wearing our faces. We left them there, Mum clutching her torn business card, Dad staring at his reflection in the window. In the driveway, Luna finally broke down. They'll never stop, she sobbed. They'll find a way to hurt us again. I held her close, watching Willow load the last of her paintings. No, I said firmly. They won't, because this time we're stronger than their threats. My phone buzzed. A text from Ali. FBI wants to meet tomorrow. Bring everything. 7 days, I whispered, looking back at the house. Then it's really over. But something in Mum's eyes when she opened that suitcase told me it wouldn't be that simple. The war was just beginning. Day 30 arrived with dark clouds and a bitter wind. I pulled up to the house with Luna beside me, a locksmith's van behind us, and a police cruiser bringing up the rear. Mum and Dad's cars were still in the driveway. They're not leaving willingly, Luna whispered. They don't have a choice. The officer, Detective Martinez, approached us first. Ms. Brown, we have the eviction order. Are you ready? I nodded, gripping the new house keys in my pocket. The front door opened before we reached it. Mum stood there in her designer suit, perfectly made up, as if this were just another social call. You're making a terrible mistake, she said calmly. The only mistake was trusting you. I turned to the locksmith. Start with the back door. You can't do this. Dad appeared behind Mum. This is our home. Detective Martinez stepped forward. Sir, you've been served with a legal eviction notice. Please gather your belongings and vacate the premises. Or what? Dad's face reddened. You'll arrest me. Go ahead. Actually, a new voice called from the driveway. 2 men in suits approached, badges out. Carson Brown, FBI. We have some questions about those loans you took out. The colour drained from Dad's face. What's this? Mum's voice sharpened. Carson. Mrs. Brown, one agent said. We'd like to speak with you as well, particularly about the contents of a certain silver suitcase. Mum's perfect mask cracked. She grabbed my arm, nails digging in. You stupid girl, she hissed. You have no idea what you've done. Luna stepped between us. Let her go, Mum. It's over. The locksmith had finished with the back door and moved to the front. The sound of drilling filled the air. Please, Mum tried one last time, switching to tears. We're your parents. Where will we go? You should have thought about that before you forged my signature, I said. Before you threatened Luna. Before you spent years making us feel worthless. Dad moved suddenly, trying to push past Detective Martinez. The officer caught him easily, cuffs appearing. Carson Brown, you're under arrest for fraud and identity theft. No, Mom screamed, her facade finally shattering completely. You can't. Do you know who we are? Who we know? Yes, the FBI agent said, producing his own handcuffs. We know exactly who you know, including Jean Richardson, who's very interested in discussing those loans. Luna watched, trembling, as our parents were led away in handcuffs. Mum's mascara ran down her face. Dad's shoulders slumped in defeat. You'll regret this, Mum called from the police car. When karma comes for you— Karma already came, Luna shouted back. She just wasn't wearing the face you expected. The locksmith finished changing the last lock. He handed me the new keys. All done, he said. No one's getting in without these. I gave one set to Luna. She stared at them like they might disappear. It's really ours now, she whispered. Yes. I took her hand. Want to go inside? The house felt different already. Emptier, cleaner somehow. Mum's precious decorations still lined the shelves, her designer furniture perfectly arranged. What do we do with all their stuff? Luna asked. The eviction notice gives them 30 days to claim it. I opened a window, letting fresh air in. After that, we can donate it. Zlata, Luna's voice was small. What if they're right? What if karma does come for us? I walked to the living room wall, where Mum's precious family portraits hung, perfectly staged photos of a perfectly fake family. Then we'll face it together. I took down the largest photo, revealing the wall safe behind it. But first, let's see what other secrets this house is hiding. The safe combination. Mum's birthday still worked. Inside were more documents, photos we'd never seen, and a USB drive. Should we look? Luna asked. Later. I closed the safe. Right now, I want to repaint your room. Any colour you want. She smiled, really smiled for the first time in days. Sunshine yellow with a mural on the wall. Perfect. My phone buzzed. Ali. FBI found Richardson. He's talking. Your parents won't be free for a very long time. I showed Luna the message. She sank onto the stairs, tears flowing. It's really over? Almost? I sat beside her. We still have to heal, but they can't hurt us anymore. Outside, the moving truck Mom and Dad had hired sat unused. The police cars were gone. The sky was clearing. Luna squeezed my hand. Thank you. For coming back. For fighting for me. For us? I corrected. I fought for us. We sat there as evening fell, listening to the sound of our house settling around us. Not a prison anymore. Not a battlefield. Finally, just a home. The autumn breeze carried the scent of fresh paint through Luna's open bedroom window. She stood on a ladder, adding final touches to her sunflower mural, while I sorted through boxes of childhood memories. Found another one, I said, pulling out a VHS tape. Luna climbed down, wiping paint from her hands. Burn pile? Burn pile. We'd made a ritual of it. Every tape, every photo album, every piece of evidence of their control went into the fire pit in the backyard, not to erase the past, but to transform it. My phone buzzed, Ali calling. They took the plea deal, she said, without preamble. Your father's getting 8 years for fraud, your mother's getting 5, plus 2 years for the international charges. Luna watched my face as I hung up. Well, it's done. I showed her the text with the details. They're going away for a long time. She nodded slowly, then turned back to her mural. The massive sunflower seemed to glow in the afternoon light, its petals reaching toward freedom. The doorbell rang. It was Willow, holding a large canvas wrapped in brown paper. Housewarming gift, she said, grinning. Or house reclaiming gift, maybe? Luna unwrapped it carefully. The painting showed a brilliant sun rising over crumbling pillars, with 2 figures standing tall in its light. At the bottom, in Willow's flowing script, beginning. It's us, Luna whispered, touching the canvas. Look, Zlata, it's us. A car door slammed outside. Through the window, I saw a postal worker delivering a thick envelope. The return address was the county jail. Mum's handwriting, Luna said as I brought it inside. Want me to burn it unopened? She hesitated. No, let's read it. One last time. The letter was exactly what we expected. Manipulation, guilt, threats veiled as concern. Classic Mum, even from behind bars. When you're both homeless and broken, I read aloud, remember that your parents would have protected you from yourselves. Luna laughed. Actually laughed. Protected us. Like they protected me from Marcus. Like they protected you from their fraud. We took the letter to the fire pit. As it burned, Luna spoke softly. I used to dream about this, you know. Having the house to ourselves, making art without being called worthless, being free. And now? Now I'm terrified. She hugged herself. What if we're broken? What if they broke us so badly we can't ever be whole? I pointed to her mural visible through the window. Does that look broken to you? Does fighting back look broken? No, she smiled. It looks like strength. The doorbell rang again. This time it was Ali, holding a bottle of champagne. Thought you might want to celebrate, she said. The plea deals are officially filed. It's really, really over. We sat in the garden, sharing drinks, while the letter's ashes cooled in the fire pit. Luna showed Ali her mural, talked about turning the house into an art studio. What about you? Ali asked me. Going back to Singapore? I looked at the house. Our house now, truly ours. No, I'm staying. We have a lot of rooms to repaint. My phone buzzed one last time. A text from an unknown number. You'll regret crossing us. Mom. Luna read it over my shoulder and took my phone. She typed, New house rule, no toxic people allowed. Goodbye, Mum. Then she blocked the number. They can't hurt us anymore, she said firmly. We're not their victims. We're not their puppets. We're just us. The sun was setting, painting the sky in fierce oranges and pinks. Inside, Luna's mural caught the light, the sunflower seeming to dance with shadows. You know, Ali said, refilling our glasses, revenge usually leaves people empty, hollow, but you two, you look whole. Because it wasn't about revenge, I realized. It was about justice, about finally saying no. Luna raised her glass. To saying no. To breaking cycles, Ali added. To us, I finished. Just us. Later, after Ali left, Luna and I sat on the porch swing, the same one where we'd first discovered Dad's fraud. But now it felt different. Lighter. What do we do now? Luna asked. Whatever we want. I squeezed her hand. That's what freedom means. Inside, the house creaked and settled. No longer holding secrets, no longer a battlefield. The locks were changed, the walls being repainted, the rooms slowly filling with light and art and truth. They'd raised me to be a monster, but they forgot one thing. Monsters can choose what they fight for, and I chose to fight for us. For Luna's art, for my strength, for our freedom. The locks would stay changed this time, forever.